Hello, this is Wmpyr. So I was online and I stumbled upon this video on Instagram, which was apparently on TikTok first, and it was called Filipino underscore oficial on Instagram. Okay, and it was this dude. He is obviously a Filipino martial arts practitioner, and he had a bread like one of those long breads. The way that I think is like Italian food, the long bread that you would see like in an Italian restaurant. I'm sure, plenty of European and other countries eat that, but yeah, that's my typical thought when I see something like that. And then I think he had a pot. So anyway, the dude's in the kitchen and he's just having fun, and he's doing Filipino martial arts stuff with the long bread and the pan. Okay, and to me, this is actually even though it's supposed to be like a fun video, it actually what you see there, right, is sword and shield, because that's what it looks like. So the bread looks like a sword, and the pot, right, the pan, it looks like a buckler, like a shield. And for me, it just looks like he's doing double stick. So like Heaven Six or whatever. He's doing double stick skills, but for the person that's not that familiar with Filipino martial arts, it looks like sword and shield, right? And this is actually very, very significant. And so I posted it on my Twitter account saying, hey guys, check this out, right? And to me, this is very important because it captures just where he's messing around with this bread and this pot top or pan or whatever it is, kitchenware. You see that in Filipino martial arts, eskrima kali Arnis, this is attack equals defense, defense equals attack. So he's not to me, he's not thinking, okay, I have a sword here and I have a shield here, and I'm going sword and then here's shield to defend, and then I go sword. He's doing double stick. Okay, boom, 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 double stick stuff. All right, that is what's going on. And yes, this one over here, the shield looking thing, is a defensive weapon. And this is, it's like a club. It's a bread, right? So sword or blade or stick or club. This is a more offensive weapon, but he's treating it like double stick. And that is Kali Escrima Arnis. That is Filipino martial arts to me at its heart, at its core, okay? Why is this so important? So when you look at some fighting arts like boxing, right? When what I think of like medium range in boxing, what they would call is in the pocket. In the pocket's actually maybe a little bit closer, but to me it still falls into medium range, which is when you're in the pocket in boxing. I mean, you could land some really good shots on the opponent, and the opponent could also do that to you. So it's a very dangerous place where you got to make decisions. You have to go, am I going to be fully offensive, or you're like, I feel like I'm going to take a hook. So then, do you cover up? Do you block? Or do you go 50-50? You're blocking and attacking. You're doing something like that where you're going to be crouching and you're throwing an overhand, right? Or that's a call that you have to make. What is that call based off of? Your experience, your fighting ability, maybe your coach, who has a lot of experience, gave you a game plan. Maybe you have really good instincts. It's a gift from heaven. You have great DNA or something. I don't know. There's a lot of different factors there, but the bottom line is you have to make that decision. Those calls. Do I block here, or do I go for the attack here? Do I go full blown power and then defend? All that, those are split second decisions on the fly. You're basically improvising. It's very, very difficult, very, very risky is what I'm saying. That's why it takes, It takes many years of fighting and training and lots of dedication to be able to do that. And what you're seeing here in this video, where I said this is the core of Filipino martial arts, is you're not seeing that split-second decision. What you're seeing is, like I said, this dude is just doing double sticks. Now, whether this happens to be a defensive tool, this happens to be an offensive tool, but he's just doing double sticks. Okay, so it just makes sense to meet. It's better to use the defensive tool, against an oncoming attack. But the brain doesn't necessarily. But if it's this one, that's fine too. So you're just doing the double stick. And of course, if I'm going to attack, it's better with the offensive tool. But if I attack with the shield, that's fine too, because that's what you're doing. So it simplifies. I'm not saying it's better. I'm just saying it is simpler. And simpler can be good, under stress, under tremendous stress, or if you're not 100%. You're not doing well, or the other person's just really good, or you're caught off guard, or for a lot of reasons. Okay, now if you can be better and do more like boxing, where you are having to, make those split-second adjustments, because that'll get you, it creates more opportunities. Yes, it's riskier, but it also creates more opportunities for you to hurt the other person too, or to do more ambitious things. Right? In order to do ambitious stuff, you can't just sit around, So it opens the window for that, but the risk is also you're gonna, you could get hurt really bad as well. So I like that the Filipino martial arts is very, very simple, and it's a good base. It really is a really, really good base. And to me, that was like, it's so important. And like for the street, survival and running away and escaping is more important. So if you just defend and protect yourself and get out of there, that's fine. You don't necessarily need to create better opportunities to dominate and destroy the opponent, is what I'm trying to say. And in fact, that might get you in trouble too. Sometimes you also, unless you plan to leave the neighborhood and never see this person ever again, if you live there and they live there, might be a good idea to also let them save face. Maybe it's a coworker, maybe, I don't know, and you guys got into a full-blown nasty fight, but this is someone that you might see again, So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that idea right there, where you are just doing double stick. Keep it nice and simple. Offense equals defense, defense equals offense. And another thing to think about is so for defense, maybe a lot of people think if you have a shield and the other person swings at you with a baseball bat, what do? Like this, right? If you do that, you're going to take the full blow. Yes, you have the shield, but you're still taking the full blow, right? And what we do in Filipino martial arts, where we constantly hit sticks, and from a sword fencing perspective, someone who's really, really good at the sword, and I have seen this, where someone who does sword stuff, they look at Filipino martial arts and they go, why are you clashing? If the stick is a representation, a symbol of a sword, why are you going sword to sword? That you want to cut the person. So why are you hitting their weapon? Because once again, our weapon, sword or stick or whatever, is also our shield. And in that case, we need to know how to meet. Learning how to meet this is important too. And one of the things that I saw the Dog Brothers do is they'll deliberately hit your stick with power. This is one of their tactics that I saw. And they hit it really hard, and depending on how you react from that, they might continue the attack, or they may back off, or so they use it to read you. So hitting stick to stick like that can, if they crumble, they go, oh, their stance is not good, their guard is not good, all right, so I can come in. it's they really kind of don't know what they're doing. So then I could finish this quick or something. They read you from that. So um, what I'm trying to say is when we do a lot of the stick to stick stuff, it's not necessarily I want to go weapon to weapon, and I would. Professor Bram Frank has said this to me on numerous occasions: is you don't want to go edge to edge because you'll damage your edge. Why damage? That is your weapon, and that's what it does. An edge cuts. He calls it a matter separator. So if that's what you're doing, why would you ruin that? It makes sense to me. But you could still use the spine. You could use the flat side of the blade. So you do that. You hit, and there's also ways to like deflect. So you don't have to take it full force. You are guiding it. You are slightly adjusting the force into many different directions. Many possible different directions, not all at once, but you are like absorbing or deflecting, or so the goal is not just to take it. and so our shield work is very active, and whether you use a sword or a knife or a baseball bat as a shield, once again, it comes from the sticks. It comes from the double sticks. It's our stick work. Okay, single stick and double stick. So yeah. And for me, rather than thinking of like a big Viking shield and thinking of using that like that, I know they got ways because it like rotates and stuff, but like I think the good one is think buckler. That has helped me a lot visually. So if I do have something like more like a baseball cap or a jacket, or a backpack, and I'm using that, I'm still doing double stick skills, but it would be closer to like a buckler. Buckler meets the force, and also you deflect off just like you do with the stick, knife, or machete, or one-handed sword. So I hope that that kind of helps. It's actually a really, really big thing. It's significant, and it's something that you have to train. You have to train this and feel it, and you also have to have the right mindset about it. So in this video, I was trying to impart to you guys about the mindset. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.